ever like really needed a favor, like really needed it.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like racking your brain thinking, how can I guilt this person? Like, how can I?
Remember that time I helped you move?
Yes, exactly. Remember when I did that thing for you 5 years ago?
Right.
Yeah.
It never works.
No. So what does work? How do you get what you need from people, especially when it feels like kind of a long shot? Well, today's deep dive might hold the key. We're going to dive into Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power.
Okay.
Specifically, we're looking at Law 13, when asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, never to their mercy or gratitude. And before you think we are giving you like the Machiavellian playbook here, just hold on. This isn't about manipulation.
Right.
It's about understanding something that's fundamentally true about how people work, about human nature, and using that to your advantage, really, to ask better, to make your asks more effective.
Right. I'm with you.
So let's break this down.
Yeah. This law, I mean, it really just cuts to the chase. People are wired to prioritize their own gain.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't think that's a cynical viewpoint. It's how we are built. You know, think about our early ancestors.
Right.
Survival often depended on them looking out for number one.
That makes sense. And it's interesting because we still have that, like, that lizard brain part of us, right?
Yeah.
Even though we like to think we're very evolved, that's still in there.
Of course.
Okay, so we're naturally self-interested. How does that translate to something like asking your boss for a raise or getting somebody to invest in your project or something like that?
Well, that is where the magic of framing comes in. You have to make your need their opportunity.
Yeah.
And Greene actually uses a very fascinating historical example,
Okay.
FDR's New Deal.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So he didn't just say we need to help people.
Right.
You know, he framed these massive government projects as being beneficial for businesses.
Oh, interesting.
He was appealing to the self-interest of wealthy investors.
So even something as massive as the New Deal had this principle behind it.
Absolutely. And it just shows that, you know, even if you're talking about grand scale change, oftentimes it still hinges on the psychology of this and framing things in a way that's going to resonate with the self-interest of, you know, the key players involved.
Yeah.
So, you know, whether you're trying to sway public opinion or just get your roommate to do the dishes,
Right.
the principle's the same.
I love that. Yeah. Okay, so that's kind of brilliant because, and I think where people get tripped up is they think, oh, I need to manipulate. I need to like come up with some song and dance. And it's like, no, it's not about being fake or being manipulative. It's just sort of understanding, okay, what does this person need? What do they want? And how can I present what I need in a way that kind of dovetails with that?
Exactly. It's about highlighting the genuine mutual benefit,
Yes.
right? So let's say you are asking for that raise. Instead of focusing on how much you need that raise, you know,
Yeah.
how can you highlight how your contributions are going to make your boss or your boss's team more successful?
So I could say something like, hey, you know, getting this raise would free me up to put even more energy into meeting those goals that we talked about.
Exactly. You've identified a win-win. You get what you want, and they see a tangible benefit for them or their team.
Okay. Yeah. Game changer. But how do you avoid crossing the line into manipulation? Because I think people hear this and they're like, well, is this just being manipulative? Where's that line and how do you stay on the side of like ethical behavior?
Well, I think it's crucial to remember that this isn't about tricking someone into doing something that they don't want to do.
Right.
It's about presenting your request in a way that genuinely benefits them.
So, like, if I offer to pick up my friend's favorite coffee on the way over, but the only reason I'm doing it is I know they'll be in a better mood to lend me their car.
Exactly.
That's getting a little manipulative.
Yeah. I mean, it lacks genuineness. The key is to find that overlap of genuine mutual benefit. It's not about trying to, like, trick someone into helping you.
Okay. So for our listeners out there, let's say you're about to make this big ask, whether it's for that promotion, to get somebody to invest in your company, maybe you just want to borrow your neighbor's lawnmower, whatever it is. Think about how does this law apply? And instead of just leading with your need, how can you kind of reframe your request in a way that really resonates with what the other person's self-interest is?
It's really just about understanding, I think, what their goals are, their values, their priorities. What are they working towards? What do they care about? And once you understand that, you can frame your ask in a way that aligns with those things.
It's almost like a mental shift. Instead of being like, me, you kind of zoom out a little bit and you're like, okay, what's that win-win? Where do our needs and interests actually align?
Precisely. And when you can do that, I think you'll find that people are much more receptive to your requests.
Such good food for thought, right? Robert Greene with the 48 Laws of Power. It's not about taking advantage, it's about that true alignment, like you
Yeah.
said. So many good takeaways. What were some of the aha moments for you? What really resonated? What are some of your strategies? What are you going to try? Head us up on social media. Let's keep this conversation going. We'd love to hear from you guys.